All right then. Thank you very much for joining me today, Manon. So you're currently studying on the MSc Financial Risk Management course, and you've been very gracious in giving up some of your time today to speak to me about your experiences. So there's a few things that I wanted to ask you about. So we'll kick off. Maybe you just want to kind of introduce yourself, tell us a little about your background, where you're from, and maybe you could touch on kind of what you would have studied at undergraduate level and where you studied.
Yeah. So my name is Manon. I'm French, obviously a typical French name. As for my undergraduate, I did a bachelor degree in a business school in France, but it was full in English. It was like the English track. So it was mainly about international management. But in third year, we had like a specialty in banking and finance. And I also have another master degree from the past 2 years back in France. It was kind of a triple degree. So I studied a part in France, a part in Italy, and a part in Poland. And it was a master degree in law and finance.
Oh, wow. So you've been all over Europe then. Very, very international student.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
how do you feel? I know you're only a month in, but in terms of studying in all those different places, is there a kind of major difference? Is there anything that's kind of jumped out at you? The difference between, you said you were in Italy, Poland,
And France.
and France. Okay. And now Ireland.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, there is a lot of differences across every countries. Like even if it was all European countries, nothing works the same, whether it's the schedule system, the grading system. But it's good to learn and discover new way of studying from everywhere.
Excellent. So you said you were doing international business or international management, was it? And then you kind of went into finance and banking. So that's obviously what kind of piqued your interest about trying to extend or kind of further your knowledge and expertise in the area specifically of finance and financial risk. Well, what is it about financial risk specifically? Because obviously it's a slightly more niche area of finance. What is it that really kind of piques your interest?
So as I already have the master in finance, I already had all the theoretical economic point of view of finance, and I'm more mathematicians. I'm more a person who likes to work with numbers. So I really wanted to further my knowledge in really the quantitative finance, and FRM, it was like the perfect program for me to really deepen all my knowledge, whether it's in informatics with learning new language, programming language related to finance, or just deepen my knowledge with data analysis and all of that stuff.
Excellent. And how did you find out about this program then at Trinity, the financial risk management program?
Honestly, just looking on internet. Like last year, I was like, okay, I know I need to do something else next year. I know it's something, I want something more quantitative. So I just search on Google, okay, master's degree in finance, but not to finance. And I ended up on the page of Trinity.
Excellent. And how did you feel about moving to Ireland? Because obviously we're across the water from mainland Europe. Was that kind of daunting or?
No, I mean, I have the side of already moving abroad 2 times when I went to Poland and to Italy, but I mean, it was more exciting because it's like moving to a new place. I've never been to Ireland before, so it was discovering a new country, a new city to live in, and it was really exciting.
Excellent. And so you're a month in, and is there anything, I guess, so far that's kind of surprised you? Is there anything you weren't expecting? Any highlights so far? I know it's only been a month and it's probably been a bit of a whirlwind so far, but
the thing that surprised me the most was not related directly to the program, but more to the school, is the amount of activities and societies and just things to do around campus every day from Monday to Sunday. There's always something new to do and to discover, to join. And I found it really surprising at the beginning because back in France, we don't have this kind of system of societies. So I found it like amazing to meet new people outside of the program. It's just amazing.
And have you had a chance to kind of explore the city much? Have you spent much time in Dublin?
Actually, I've only stayed in Dublin for now. I've visited quite around, and I love the city. It's just so good to live in. We don't feel like we're in a capital. I mean, it's not like we're living in Paris and London. It feels more familiar, more small.
Yeah, more community feel. I feel a
Yeah,
little bit like
exactly.
that. I did live in London for a few years and it was very overwhelming. And then when I came here, it was like all the things that I loved about a city, but also a bit of a community feel. Like when I go
Yes.
in places, people kind of recognize me and, that sort of thing. So I feel that's great. In terms of kind of looking forward, I mean, obviously, as I've said, you're only here a month and you kind of still get embedded it. Aspirations for after you graduate. Have you thought that far forward? Have you got something specific in mind?
Yes, I'm planning to do a graduate program for next year. So I'm currently in the application process and recruiting and doing interviews and applying online. So yeah, I want to do a graduate program because I done a lot of studies, but I have no professional experience except
Mm-hmm.
of like few internships. So yeah, graduate program, anything related to finance or operations management to really have the best experience I can have and make myself a really more stronger CV.
Okay, and Manon, do you feel that would be in Ireland? Are you thinking further afield? Are you thinking maybe go back to France or somewhere a bit more international?
So I'm trying to find in Poland to join
Okay.
someone there. It's quite complicated because I don't speak Polish, and
Ah,
they don't offer a lot of graduate programs. So, but most of them are in English, so it's already a good point. So yeah, Poland and either in quantitative finance management or even in more broader strategy and operations. So it's more about management in general, not finance particular, but like the program of FRM really gives me a good insight to other kind of job, even if it's really, really niche, as we say.
mhm. And I suppose if oh, just before I move on to the next question, you said there you've been applying for the graduate roles at the minute. How are you finding that process? Have you managing to fit in with your studies and
Yeah. It takes a lot of time, obviously, to apply for each, but I find the time keeping my list really organized, making an Excel file to really track all the application process, the interviews. I already did an interview last week that went really great, actually.
oh,
So,
brilliant.
yeah.
Congratulations. That's great. And I suppose if someone was on the fence about whether or not to kind of apply for the program or enroll, is there anything you'd like to say to them?
I think you just go for it, try. It's like it's not you're not going to miss anything. You're just going to learn new things anyway, meet new people, meet amazing people, just doing amazing stuff. It's 1 year, so it's not a year lost, even if you're not sure about it. Just run for it.
And you said yourself about kind of you're really, like you're like a mathematician. So
Mhm.
you love the numbers and is that the type of thing that you think makes a good, financial risk professional, someone that's got to be really passionate about numbers and, really passionate about learning?
Not specifically. I mean, in the class, we have all type of backgrounds. Some people are more comfortable with numbers than others, but even if you don't like math, it's not an issue. It's not a problem of joining the program because it's all about learning. So we all come from different backgrounds. So from the beginning, we all go step by step to learn everything so that no one feels lost in during the classes.
Oh, that's brilliant. It sounds like there's a decent amount of support then,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
obviously this is a slightly smaller class than some of the others on campus. So, I do hear that feedback that it's a bit more, you kind of get even a little bit more face time with the module leaders and you all
Yes,
kind of work
yes.
together. And there's some group work as well, I believe.
Yes, yeah, a lot of good procs, but no, it's good. Like our teachers really listen to us when we ask for something. Like there is a class we wanted more tutorials because some of the people kind of felt lost. So the teacher immediately, okay, every Friday at 4 we will meet and we do tutorials. It's not mandatory. You come only if you want to come. So it's really great to feel listened.
Oh, that's brilliant. Okay, well, I think that's all my questions. Unless you want to add anything else, I appreciate your time today, Manon, and good luck with the rest of your studies
Thank
and
you.
with your applications for your graduate programs.
Thank you.
And thanks very much for speaking with me today. Really appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Thank you so much for receiving me.